That's why I really liked A Link Between Worlds so much. Like, I haven't had that much fun playing a Zelda game in a long time. And anyone who hasn't played it, I suggest that you do, because you could do any dungeon in any order you wanted because of the inventory system that they put in place, which makes, again, like I said, makes me really excited to see what's going to happen with the new console Zelda, because I hope they don't implement it exactly like that, because that would just make things a little too weird. It works for the mobile game, it works for the handheld game because it's a handheld game and you get that kind of freedom. But like, I felt rewarded for exploring. Although by the time you buy all the items, you really don't need money anymore. I mean, you do and you don't. But usually, by then, you're usually like 1 or 2 dungeons away from beating the game anyways, so. But for me at least, that's how it worked. But you know, I get tired of the same, here's your item that you get in this dungeon. You're really only ever going to use it for this dungeon and maybe a little bit towards the end of the game, because we got to remind you that we made this item for a reason. Whereas like this one, the first Zelda, and again, A Link Between Worlds, each item served its purpose for that level or dungeon, but also still was usable for whatever you needed to be. Like the freeze wand, which is one of the optional items, which that's another thing I kind of liked, that there were optional items that you could get if you wanted to. But the freeze wand and the hammer were a great combo, because you freeze something and you hit it with the hammer and you get a big magic pot out of it, so you could get pretty much a full magic refill for free with little effort. Which, let me tell you how useful that got. Because free magic is always a good thing. But even the... But that's what I hated about the redundancy of items, where it's just like, you get an item... Like in Ocarina, it made sense. You get a slingshot as a kid, because you can't use a bow and arrow because it's too big for you, the actual one. And you get to use that while you're a kid, and the bow and arrow when you're an adult. But it's like, you're an adult in the rest of the games, and you have a slingshot, and then you use a bow and arrow, which makes the slingshot obsolete. There's no need to have a slingshot. Should have just given you the bow and arrow in the first place. Well, they did it in Twilight Princess too, didn't they? But it's like, yeah, the bow and arrow is more powerful, but they could have just given you an upgrade or something instead of, I don't know. I guess they're just trying to make things just seem a little more iconic than they really are. But that's just silly. I don't need things to be iconic. You know, we didn't even have a slingshot until Ocarina. But that's kind of my problem with Nintendo in general right now anyways, is things are a little, they're playing it way too safe. But they're also thinking that they've also kind of got that attitude of, no, we're the only kids on the playground. Which is another big mistake. Because let me tell you about how a mistake like that can be a bad thing. I mean, really. No, no, actually. Because they want to play fast and loose and act like... I mean, granted, I love Nintendo. I love Nintendo games. I've always been a Nintendo fanboy. But you can only take so much of the stupid decisions. And, you know, while they made off like bandits with the stinking Wii, you know, the Wii U is suffering. And I really don't know where I'm going with any of this, but just kind of rambling. But, you know, now they've got a system that isn't being as widely accepted as people know, because a lot of people are still confused on what it is. You know, they see Wii U and they think, oh, well, this is an add-on because of the touchscreen control and everything, or, you know, they don't understand. It hasn't really been marketed. I don't know why they could have called it something. They should have called it something else.